Following the release last week of a list of people who established paper companies overseas to allegedly avoid paying tax, a local online conglomerate tracker has released data on the number of foreign branches and the amount of assets held by conglomerates abroad. Yoo Li-an reports.
The identities of 245 Koreans who own paper companies or so-called ghost assets abroad was made public last week.
The public has the right to know about the leaders of society secretly creating paper companies in tax havens.
The International Consortium of Investigative Journalists and Newstapa, a Seoul-based non-profit news agency, were responsible for uncovering the identities of the people on the list. Attention is now focused on a second list set to be unveiled later this afternoon. This time, it's a total of 7 people, 4 of whom are conglomerate owners and prominent tycoons. A recent report by the online conglomerate tracker Jaebol.com showed that the number of foreign branches by family-controlled conglomerates amounts to 125, and the funds in these shell companies amounts to 5.7 trillion won, or roughly $5 billion. SK Group had the most foreign branches at 63, followed by Lotte Group with 12, and Hyundai Group and Dongguk Steel Group with 6 each. Hana Group held the most assets abroad at $1.5 billion, followed by SK Group at $1.1 billion, then Daewoo Shipbuilding and Marine Engineering at $700 million. Most of these companies were in Panama, the Cayman Islands, and the British Virgin Islands, areas well known as tax havens. The thing to note here is that more than half of these companies had no history of any transactions. So in other words, they're most likely paper companies.
Offshore tax evasion is highly systemized and globalized. This cannot be controlled by a country's taxing authorities, but requires global cooperation.
Korea's National Tax Service is currently looking into the 245 Koreans who were on last week's list, and the agency looks set to launch further investigations as more names are revealed. Yoo Li-an, Arirang News.